Hey there folks, grab a seat and buckle up because we're diving deep into the ever magical world of Dismal Disney. And today I'm here to discuss something that everybody should be talking about. It's the potential tipping point for Disney in 2024 and why it matters now more than ever. You see, never mind the constant rhythm of IP loss over the next 2 decades as that moves forward pretty aggressively, all the beloved characters slipping into the wind of public domain, and never mind the sheer volume of lawsuits, both civil and criminal, on the horizon, and never mind another year of subpar theatrical offerings and a collapsing theme park attendance that's just starting to catch up to the chronic lies about desirability. And, of course, completely ignore all the competition set to rip giant chunks out of market share beginning in 2024, at least the end of 2024. Anyway, so seriously, forget all of that. Focus on streaming. Yes, that's right, streaming, the business that everybody else is now moderating their focus on, but of course, not Disney. They're going to actually double down on niche, divisive content this year as well. And that seems like a winning strategy, right? Now, of course, the result at current of all of that being a financial tightrope that's currently on fire. Oh, and by the way, the safety net is ablaze as well. Double down, Dismal Disney, because there's no help on the way. Here we go. Now, I'm not one to back down from a challenge, and a while back I really had to come to grips with the reality of Disney's future success. I mean, my reservations about Disney blossomed into full-blown contempt for the vast majority of their offerings and overflowing concern for their sovereign existence as a company as currently constituted in the future. Recent earnings and SEC filings spells a very concerning tale. Bob Iger is trying to convince the financialist analysts out there that his maneuvers might just be steering this ship into some calmer waters. This, of course, is at odds with the misalignment the company has with its broader audience, and it also minimizes the concerns with the direct-to-consumer model that they're not exactly winning at the moment. As such, the streaming service has been under a lot of scrutiny, but Iger's favored figures have him suggesting something unbelievably grand. You see, revenues, he's saying, are up 5.7% to $1.24 billion. That's not pocket change, but it's also rather disingenuous. You see, the massive price increases are the largest contributing factor here, and the global economic outlook is alarming, and we'll get to more of that in just a moment. There are signs of growth to be sure, but it's not at all organic. The experience business grew by a staggering 13%, and the entertainment business grew by 2%. You want to guess why? Well, once again, you guessed it, the price increases on the streaming business. Now, Disney Plus added nearly 7 million subscribers in Q4, tallying up to 150.2 million. Now, of course, they're mum on exactly how many of those are a result of some less than favorable wholesale deals that they have, or of course their magic shenanigans with some Hulu packaging and things like that they seem to do regularly now. But I would surmise that all of these gains, and then some, are basically just feeling a large jump in churn. And they're probably also double counting a little bit when it comes to Hulu and maybe some cable things that just happened. We'll have to dive into that here in the next quarter. And with all of that, you're seeing some less than adept and meticulous analysts jumping to conclusions thinking that with the right moves, Disney Plus might even see profitability in 2024 as promised. No. And mark my words here, Project Hulk is about to change the playing field and the goalposts, making it impossible for anybody to distinguish between Hulu and Disney Plus. And once again, essentially setting a goal and then replacing the field entirely, that's a modus operandi for Bob Iger. Case in point, of course, being the restructuring of the company when he returned to power recently. Now, so I suggest we wait. Let's not break out the champagne just yet. You see, there are hurdles on this excessively pixie-dusted path. You see, keeping a streaming service afloat requires a constant stream of captivating content, and this is something that Disney has indicated that they are slowing down on, at least, somewhat substantially. So this now becomes exceedingly a precarious position for Disney, because one wrong move in their content lineup and the subscriber growth might hit a bump, or be derailed. Heck, the churn, which is a measurement that's used to define growth versus loss, and the subscriber replacement rate, might just balloon completely out of control, dropping Disney down to like an AMC streaming level of relevance. And that's not a good place to be in the post-streaming wars era, because, well, we've entered into the bundle era, the aggregator era, and you don't want to be below third place or so in this new era of streaming. Now let's talk some back of the napkin economics, shall we? I think we should. The streaming industry, more so than any other entertainment business, dances to the tune of, well, the economy. A shaky economy means shaky streaming subscriptions, with inflation causing a quarter of adults right now in the US to unsubscribe from streaming services. And we're walking on some very shaky ground here. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a worldwide concern, as major economies, particularly Germany, is set to decline substantially this year. Now, I've crunched the numbers and looked into, well, a crystal ball, so to speak, and here are two verdicts that I think we should focus on, two distinctly different outcomes. Disney's enterprise value hits $201 billion, with a fair value of $94.50 per share, giving it about a 5% upside on the current market price, as some analysts like Seeking Alpha suggest. I don't necessarily agree. Much more rationally, Disney suffers a retraction on every front, as the economic outlook of the majority of consumers is toppled by excessive living expenses that have outpaced earnings, by some hidden inflation drivers like energy and some other essentials like food. Now, Disney in turn falls closer to $136 billion in enterprise value, resulting in a $64 per share result, a number that I have been suggesting for almost 2 years now, because I think it's probably the most rational one out there. But, and there's always a but in this not so magical tale, while Disney is never upfront about the risks that they are dealing with, Disney's future hinges on an overly robust economy and its own ability to consistently turn out compelling content, something they have not been able to do for over a year now. I'm sure you will agree. Plus, there's also the Fed, a big gray cloud that's looming out there. If they decide to keep rates high, Disney's interest payments could skyrocket. They are also at risk for a downgrade in the near future, and I suspect it'll happen. Yikes. So where does this leave us, or more specifically, Disney? Well, they're in a tough place, no doubt. The streaming arm's on the brink of something big or complete ruin, depending upon where the service bundles end up. So there's no guarantee. I'm never giving stock advice here. It's just my opinion, so I would never suggest taking any advice from anybody on the internet. Just find a trusted professional for sure. So don't look to me for investment, I guess, is the whole point of that statement. Just look at their history, though. And given Disney's history of overpromising and underdelivering, just think to yourself what kind of future that becomes. It's pretty simple to suss it out from there. As usual, I ask you, what are your thoughts on Disney's potential for 2024? Is there going to be a game changer? Do you think that they've got the Midas touch finally, or are there some terrible storm clouds on the horizon? Drop your comments down below here, because I'd love to hear your take on this particular version of a Mickey Mouse roller coaster, which I think has a very steep drop coming up. Remember to stay tuned for updates on Disney's dismal journeys, and double check to make sure you're still subscribed, because there's been a lot of people getting unsubscribed lately. And as always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, see ya!